Hey everybody, it's Keisha, Coach K. Hey, I am helping you navigate narcissism and do so with a smile on your face. So I just wanted to pause for a moment as we get ready to go into the holiday season and just sort of reiterate some things related to what we are doing specifically on this channel. So just a reminder that I don't always think when you are in relationship with a narcissist, I don't always think it's possible to just leave. If you search the internet and you search, what to do, how to respond, they always give you advice and give you strategies that revolve around you leaving or minimizing the interaction with that narcissist. So here's what I want you to understand. It may very well be that you have to employ that advice. You may have to gray rock them, act as if they're not there. You may have to leave. You may have to cut, contact. But what I also understand is there's a gray area, okay? A gray area between when you discover that you're dealing with a narcissist or the victim of a narcissistic abuse, and then between you determining what you're going to do, whether you leave, whether you cut contact, whether you separate, whether you get counsel and try to work it out, whether you just employ tactics to try to deal with them because you want to salvage the relationship. So I'm well aware that there is a space in between. And Kisa is helping you to deal with the space in between. Because I think a lot of the advice when I was researching and I was trying to determine what to do about being in a narcissistic marriage, in a marriage, there's not a narcissistic marriage, there's a marriage with a narcissistic partner. The advice always gives us finality. In other words, what do? You leave that person, you ignore them, you just don't react. Well, everything is a process. And just because I read it today, okay, don't react whenever they go into one of their episodes or whenever they criticize, it doesn't mean I'm able to employ that immediately, if that makes sense, okay? And then some of those tougher decisions like determining whether or not you're going to leave and, what your future will be with them, sometimes these things take time. You got to think on these things. I mean, we're in a relationship. We are, we've developed connections. Sometimes our not only are our hearts and souls and minds tied into that person, but sometimes our finances and, we share houses and material things and children. So it is worth you really thinking through. Had a pastor who would always say that as it relates to things. Sit down and think through. And then sometimes there is a time frame while you discover that you're dealing with a narcissistic partner to you making a decision about whether you're going to stay. Remember, I'm the person who's helping you in the middle of it all and helping you retain your joy. Because once you start recognizing that a lot of this isn't on you. Now, it doesn't mean that you're not perfect. Doesn't mean that you don't have your challenges, but it can be exacerbated when you deal with a narcissistic partner. Like, all of us come with our challenges, right? Every person. But when you are dealing with a narcissistic spouse, a narcissistic person, your challenges become exacerbated because you're not dealing with someone really who's even equipped or even concerned about trying to work with you, because everything at the heart of narcissism, everything is about selfishness, and it revolves around them. It revolves around them. They cannot and oftentimes will not look outside of the sphere of them. So if you understand that, it'll give you, and may not make you feel better, but it will at least help you in moving forward. So I just wanted to explain my approach will be unconventional. I'm straight truth. I'm gonna give you straight truth bomb, not from reading, but from experience. Straight truth on who they are and how they deal and what you expect to experience, right? Even though I know your situation may be a little bit different, and sometimes it may appear that I'm being harsh. But here's what I had to learn. We don't get free by sugarcoating everything. My background is public relations, and so I can make anything look rosy if I really want to. I mean, it's about wording, it's about posturing. But what I've also learned as I become more mature is honesty is freedom. And sometimes the fact is things are just not pretty. Some things are very ugly. Sometimes people are very ugly. And there's no way to rationalize it. There's no way to excuse it. You have to just be honest. And if I'm honest about it, if we're honest, that's where we begin to get the help. When we lie to ourselves, we keep ourselves in a cycle. When you lie to yourself and say, well, it's really not that bad. They're really nice. Well, of course, after an episode of crazy, they have a conscience because they've been created by God. God created us in his image. So at some point God is able to break through, but they also have to decide to remain in that space of humility and recognition of what you experience as well. So they're able to recognize it. But if a person keeps repeating the patterns, you have to ask yourself, do I really want to keep dealing with this? But I'm also acutely aware that sometimes, again, running away, moving away, getting out of it isn't always an immediate response. So I'm the person who's helping you in the middle to help you determine what you need to do. All right? So I'm Kisa, Coach K. Send me a message if you need to talk. Send me a message if you want to just kind of share, Send me a message if you want me to answer some questions, or if you want to give me a scenario that you want me to look at. I've been involved in it, fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, for a long, long time. I've dealt with narcissistic partners. And yes, we have those who come and say, oh, you can't say that. You can't say because you don't know if somebody hasn't been diagnosed. Well, at the core, narcissism is just selfishness. So, yes, I can say that I have had the experience of dealing with some really selfish people. And I'm not going to get into that. I was about to share something. I'm not going to get into all of that. So I definitely have had the experience, but in having the experience, I can also tell you what it looks like to work through it until you make the decision about whether or not you're going to continue to deal with this person. I'm Kisa, Coach K. Have a great one.